You're probably thinking, why are you sitting on the ground, Will? Why is this happening? It's because these were my comic book lives. That's not grammatically correct. So I thought that'd be a good idea when I'm talking about this movie. I want to just say that it has to have been one of the best stories of Marvel that I've watched. It may have only been one of the best because the characters, the visuals, the sound, the music all played together perfectly, which made the story come through the best. I thought it sort of pulled upon all these elements that have been going around with the Marvel films very well, and of course, looking into the future, it definitely drew some Civil War ideas to the forefront, and also some Infinity Wars ideas. I was sad that they didn't introduce really any new players that we weren't expecting, like Doctor Strange or Captain Marvel or people like that. But the the people like Vision, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were great additions to the MCU family. And in saying that, characters that were on screen that we knew about, the main Avengers teams members, were all written well and brilliantly. I saw a video sort of ranking the characters and how long they were on screen for in the Avengers film, and it was drastic how much more Iron Man was compared to like Hawkeye and Black Widow, and I thought that was a bit wrong. Whereas this movie, I feel like if you did a similar chart with screen times, they'd all be equal. All of them, their stories really progressed. There's a lot more backstory. I don't want to talk about it because it would spoil them, but mainly Hawkeye. Wow. There was so much more to Hawkeye than expected. And Hawkeye is a character that has always made me a bit disappointed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I love Hawkeye. If you read his comics, he's got the best humour and the best comedy, second to Spidey and Deadpool. And they've never really done that well, because in Thor he was really crap. Like, he was in it for a split second, they didn't give him a name, and he was just sort of basically Jason Bourne. And then in Avengers he was, under mind control. But in this movie, Hawkeye, he had so many wisecracks and just, the dude and things like that, that really brought the character to what he should be. And I think that's all, well, mostly down to Jeremy Renner for playing it so well. So yes, I do think Hawkeye stole the whole movie. The visuals of the film, I do admit the CGI in the opening sequence sometimes gets a bit edgy, but you shouldn't see a movie for its visual effects. Well, main reason. But after that, wow. Ultron is the most believable motion capture presence of a character I've ever seen, which obviously would also be down to James Spader for being absolutely terrifying. The sort of wisecracking humour and literal cracking that Ultron does is another sort of Marvel villain you want to love, but is just chilling. James Spader and Jeremy Renner stole the show. I think Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were great. I think their addition to the Marvel Cinematic family is a great idea. Visuals for both of their powers is really unique, something I haven't really seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet, and the same with Ultron sort of blasts and stuff, because they could have easily gotten Ultron to just use basic Iron Man repulsor sort of explosions, and Quicksilver could have just basically stole the Flash thing, or what they did in Days of Future Past, but it was very unique. And also Scarlet Witch was just this sort of chaotic fire that erupted from her hands and just mind, and it's just chilling at points. She is just scary. I did like the fact, and you can definitely tell that they went to different locations this time, because the green screen in Avengers and also Winter Soldier really drew on the movie a bit too much. Whereas this film, I don't even know where they went. I know they went to Mexico, I think, and I think they went to Tokyo as well. It gives the movie a lot more of a global scale, which is what the Avengers are. They go to where they need to go to solve the problems, and it's great. On that is also the choreography of all the action sequences and certain unique things that the Avengers can do now, because we don't see it, but there's obviously been, between the 3 years since Avengers, they've obviously gone on their own missions, taking down Hydra, and they just do things that only a team would be able to do. They use each other's abilities to, as a strength. Great to see the team actually coming together before what happens in Civil War, which is, I want to talk about so much, but I don't want this video to go very long. So in summary, I think all the characters had, you know, a great turn in the spotlight. I think that the score of the movie was great. It was a great idea to finally have some continuity in the Marvel's cinematic universe's music, because every single film, even the sequels and prequels for Iron Man's sake, have not had a continuity in their scores, their main themes, whereas this one we have an Avengers theme, and even in the Avengers theme we have the music from Iron Man 3, so hopefully if there is an Iron Man 4 or whenever Iron Man pops up, that'll be his main theme music. So that was great, and the music just overall, it wasn't over the top, and it just gave the right sort of emotions in every moment. Plot was great, of course. In a Marvel movie plot, there's always those sort of thin areas you wish there's a bit more exposition, but I think there was enough to satisfy a true Marvel fan. I feel like if you hadn't seen at least 1 or 2 Marvel films, you might have been a bit lost. You know, the fact that a character creates another thing that then becomes a villain would be a bit weird if you didn't understand that Tony and Banner are, you know, these amazing geniuses. It would be a bit confusing, but I think that Joss Whedon nailed it for what it needed to happen. It's definitely one of Marvel's best films, and that's after saying that Guardians of the Galaxy is the best movie ever. I think this one's definitely topped. That's definitely a thing that you should do, is see this movie, see it in cinemas before it floods to DVD, and then buy the DVD and see it there. And that's something that was said in a different video, which you can watch here. And actually, click on Stan Lee's pop vinyl figure to see a great video, even though you probably can't see this because I've probably replaced it with a video that I want you to go and see. And it's on the Nerdcast channel with obviously with Josh, and also with Peter, who is, his mind must be mental to live in. Things he says in this review, anything I've said might, might say it. What he says, so yeah, go and watch this because this will blow your mind. It does have spoilers in it though, so maybe you should see Age of Ultron first. Right, laters. One day that's gonna break the camera.